for this, other than this better
Right.
last for like.
And really what it boiled down to was the people around me.
I feel like the music scene here could be way better.
Okay, so we got the hair, that's Chucky. We got the jacket, that's Candyman.
Wow, okay, I see it now.
We got,
You know what I'm saying? R.P. Big C.
Rest in peace.
He had passed away, but you know what I'm saying, at the time, like he was.
Man, y'all know what the fuck going on, man. It's your boy Nightfall, man. We live with another Step Up to the Mic podcast, man. I got two real special individuals right here who doing a lot for the city, man. If y'all don't know who they are, they finna introduce themselves, and they gonna tell y'all all about them, man. But like I said, man, I appreciate everybody who been tuning in to the channel since day one. And if you've been following us, we got some real dope shit for y'all coming up real soon, man. But we gonna dive right into this. I'm gonna introduce my brother right here first because I've been with my brother for a long time. We've been in the gym getting it in. Go ahead and tell everybody who you is, gang.
Hey, what's going on? This is Aaron Abram, Northside, you know what I'm saying, all day, every day. Been working with youth for a very long time. Started out in Beacons, Speak the Word Church International. Both Marc and myself have been just working with folks in the community. It's something that we love to do. And now we taking it to Title Boxing Club.
Facts.
All day, every day. Come holler at us.
Facts.
Now we're just letting everybody know about some of the work that we're doing, some of the work that can be done in terms of youth facilitation. So we look forward to this conversation. Thank you so much for inviting us out.
Man, I appreciate it.
as well.
I appreciate y'all sliding through, man. And tell everybody who you is, brother.
Marc Woods, currently the Youth Development Specialist for the Minneapolis Youth Coordinating Board,
Dope.
Minneapolis Youth Congress. One of our mottos is no decision about us without us. We make sure that young people have a voice and a decision and policies made about them, especially considering they're not old enough to vote. And so making sure that their voice gets heard. Last year was a 6th grade PE and health teacher over at Northeast Middle School. I started at Northeast Middle School working in the schools almost 20 years ago. Learned youth work from my mother, who was a psychologist, and worked in the church. And
Oh, that's dope.
the church allowed us to practice a lot of things, and I've been able to bring that to several programs and really just, like Aaron said, be in the community and try to give back.
Yeah, that's really dope, man. That's some shit that I definitely look up to, man. It's like y'all remind me of kind of like Mad Dads a little bit, like with kind of like the vision of that. You know what I mean?
I rock with
Yeah.
Mad Dads because we didn't work with them for so long.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
just the t-shirt culture, having a crew in the t-shirts.
Yeah.
My organization, we were out there to the point where we be laughing because every organization does different things.
Definitely.
So when I hear Mad Dads, I'll be so used to it because people Mad Dads is one of those like
It was like the
recognized,
branded ones, like you know
so
what I mean?
anytime they see us, they be like, "Y'all Mad Dads, right?" We like, "Fam, they shirts." Ain't no disrespect to Mad Dads.
No,
I just be
for
like,
sure.
"Fam, their shirts are green."
So
Come on.
let's talk about that. So how did this get formed, and how did y'all get started with pushing for the youth?
Well, you can go.
Man, I'll be honest with you. As the youngest and only boy, I actually did not like young people. Youth got on my nerves because I would get in trouble for doing stupid stuff or for being childish all the time.
Right.
To the point where what I realized was it's not the young people, it's what they were taught.
Facts.
And so I tried to say, how can I be a part of the solution, not the problem?
Facts.
And what I learned is a lot of adults are hypocritical. They will want kids to behave a certain way, and I'll be looking at them like, but you're acting like this is where I got it from.
Hey, you hear me? Tell them.
And so it really allowed me to see young people as kind of a fresh slate. They don't know what they don't know. They don't know what we expect them to know. And so being able to be authentic with them and them being able to be authentic with me has been able to create safe spaces, and we have real conversations. I've been kicked out of places, bars, restaurants, for having conversations that to me are deemed normal. Use the concept of blackness. We put blacks in our statistics. We talk about especially in education, we talk about the gap between black male students and failing.
Yeah.
But if you state this is something that I deal with as a black person, all of a sudden you can't talk about that.
Facts.
And for me, young people, they talk about that stuff all the time.
That's facts.
So it became almost like a safe homage space where they're safe and I'm safe.
Yeah.
So I learned to advocate for them, and
That's huge, man. That's a something that's big that, like I said, the city definitely need. We need that type of safe haven where we can feel like, hey, we can go here and express ourselves, you know what I mean, and be who we want to be, you know what I mean?
They say freedom of speech.
Facts.
But then they tell us we're not supposed to say this.
Right.
Make up your mind. That's confusing.
Yeah.
As an adult.
So let me ask y'all, how do y'all feel like y'all program can influence the state of Minnesota? Because we know just in general, you know, this state, it could be good, it could be bad, it could be, you know, just a mixture of a lot of things. It's a bipolar state, you know what I mean? First we'll have good support, then out of nowhere the support is bad. You know, how could y'all help the youth grow within this spiral, you know, that we've been going down in Minnesota?
The youth need spaces. What this does is create their own genres, as well as creates what we call in Beacons ladders of leadership. So if I'm in positional power, young people nowadays don't respect positional power. The first thing come out their mouth, you ain't my dad, you ain't my mom.
Whoo, you hit the hill right on.
And so for me, it's like, who am I to you? I don't even get to choose that.
Yeah.
There are some young people who have cussed me out and been like, you was my dad growing up, and I'm like, I didn't know that. Like, my bad. Give me a hug. Hey, we got you. To some people, I'm Unc. To others, I'm just a cool dude.
Right.
I literally don't get to decide who I am to these young people. As long as I'm consistent and support them, it's naturally reciprocated. Right. Young people don't reciprocate; they get it beat and conditioned out of them. So over time, I did this and was hurt. I did that and I was hurt. What's the little movie with the little girl? Issa Rae was in it. Regina King.
I forgot. I know what you talk about. Yeah, I think it was something like that.
Yeah. It basically put her back in her children. The little black girl was the director of it.
Yeah.
She was basically depicting going back to your childhood and addressing traumas that normal people don't get to address.
Yeah.
And when we talk about trauma, your brain literally stays in the space of the trauma until you overcome it and heal.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people are walking around. I used to always tell people, you're not grown. You didn't grow up. You just got older.
So let me ask you something, right? So the rebuttal, what you were saying, when you were like, to other people, you know, you don't know who you are to them or something like that, right?
That's not my responsibility.
Who are you to them specifically?
To them, I'm Marc. I've always stood strong on my self-identity. I've always stood strong on trying to be consistent in who I am. That flip-flopping, going back and forth, does not work. And so I've always taken on several lanes, several opportunities, several jobs. I've been an avid tutor for almost 15 years.
Beautiful.
I have been now a licensed Tier 1 teacher last year.
Wow. That's dope,
I've been the coordinator for the After School Beacons program. I've been a mentor. I've been a coach. I have been, and all of these things to me look different. I've been the homeless and highly mobile coordinator.
Yeah.
I've been the Black Student Union leader. I have been, again, it's roles, but I don't look at the positional power. I look at this is just a part of me.
Right.
So even in the concept of duality, the shadow's mine. If I got an attitude that day, I have to apologize or express why I have that attitude.
Right.
But I want you to accept me the same way you accept me when I'm doing all this good.
Facts.
And
Facts.
that's the hard part in society is we often want people to have a fresh start.
Yeah.
Especially
but don't give them that chance, though. You don't give them that chance.
Bad, you bad.
Yeah. Or you gonna be like this for your whole life. Yeah, like nah, bro.
Instead of saying, "Hey, bro, that was a bad. You shouldn't have did that."
Yeah.
How do we move forward?
Hey, but and we make mistakes. You feel what I'm saying? Like it's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? But we all just gotta capitalize. So let me ask you something directly. So how do you approach the situation to the youth, as if saying like, "Hey, how are you getting their attention? Like how do y'all get their attention to come to y'all? You know what I mean?"
I mean, number one is being authentic, right? Being who you are, understanding that everything has a limitation when it comes to influence as well, right? So I can only get so far in telling people I'm from over north,
right?
Because the experiences as time grows change, right? The north side I grew up in, the community I grew up in, is not the same thing.
Facts.
Currently,
Facts.
It's Camden School, right?
Yeah.
And so I came from more of a place of top down, right? Even
that makes
I started out, shout out to Sub-Zero Collective with James Everett. That was really my first ever time being out and realizing that we as youth could have a voice.
Right.
That's how I became part of the very first Mayor's Youth Council for Mayor Sharon Sales Belton. Right? So when people are looking at me, they look at us as resource, but they look at us as resource for different things. Right? So if I have a youth that it has to be convinced not to do something violent, them coming to me is going to be more about saying, hey, you realize here's how much time that looks like.
Yeah.
I come from a more bureaucratic type way of instructing them about what's going on and looking into the future, because that's how I want to really talk to them, because again, I can only get so far when it comes to my lived experiences.
Sure.
I can only really mentor you, and it's gonna sound weird when I say this. A lot of people mentor off of pain, right? You mentor off of hurt, right? The reason why I'm doing this for youth is because I starve, so I don't want them to starve. The reason I work with these youth is because I was beat. I don't want them to be beaten.
Right.
But we don't lead nowadays, in my opinion, with a lot of these youth organizations with aspiration. Like, what do I want you to do? I know what I don't want to happen to you. Right. But what do I want to happen to you?
Yeah.
And so I come from the perspective of what do I want you to see?
Yeah.
How can I help in putting you in a position so that you're coming to me, when you come to me next time, it's about a letter of recommendation.
That's well said,
next
brother.
time you come to me, it's about how you're applying to Morehouse. I have a young brother from Minneapolis Youth Congress that is asking for my letter of recommendation because I went to Morehouse College. Well, how did he even know I went to Morehouse? How did he remember that I went to Morehouse College?
Yeah.
Right?
You put an implant, you implanted something.
Yeah, because it was different.
Yeah.
Right? Like, until you get to a certain age, I came up in a time in Minneapolis where I did not even step over South or in St. Paul till I was 18 years old.
Really did.
Right, I did not do that because over north we didn't mess with South Side. We didn't mess with St. Paul.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
So how is that different now? Like, now that you've seen it, and now that Minnesota the way it is now, the biggest goal would be to do what?
The biggest goal, in my opinion, for the youth right now, is to again get them to aspire to something. Right, we have, in my opinion, too many parents. Too many folks who are claiming to be youth workers. They just work with youth. They are not youth workers. I'll let Marc explain that a bit more. But
that makes sense, though.
Give them something to aspire to. Back in my time,
yeah.
Even though people are pissed off at police right now, guess what? It was a police officer that really told me about being a judge. Right? Yes, we're pissed off.
Was that through the PAL League?
Yes.
That's crazy.
What I'm saying? And so it's like we had that in our community, and it was those people who were having me aspire to do something.
Yeah.
We also had people who were doing not so good things in my community.
You know, not to cut you off, but when you brought up the fact that you said the officer wanted you to be a judge, so let me ask you, right? And this is just right off the top of my mind. What do you think black people could do to actually change the system by being judges or lawyers? What is something that can really work? Because we know systemically that's a different type of ball game. So what I'm saying that is, when they say, hey, you could be this judge and do this, what would you do to actually change or help change the world? You know what I mean? Or the community. You know what I mean?
That's an easily connective of your first question.
Yeah.
What can we do to prevent or get youth's attention?
Yeah.
One, allow them to know their options. As an educator, I tell youth all the time, my job is to never tell you what to do.
Right.
My job is to help you learn what you can do. And the fact of the matter is even if you want to go to the NBA, your percentages of chances are low.
Facts.
You're more likely to go to the moon and be an astronaut than you are to make it to the NBA. But we have twins, we have brothers, we have cousins. Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady were cousins.
Yeah.
We have the Brooke Lopez twins. We have Tyus and Trey Jones, brothers, made it to the league. So it's not an impossible thing. It's, are you willing to do the work?
Yeah.
And now that becomes a task where they can now say, I'm going to step up, or I drop the ball. How do I now move on or redirect? Those skills become transitional skills. Talking on a basketball court, we used to get yelled at all the time. If you're not talking, you finna sit down on this bench.
Hey,
okay?
straight up.
So now as a host at a restaurant, now as a cashier, speaking to people, now you're not shy to speak to people because these skills transition. To me, the system is the system. And I think our biggest problem, especially in our community, in the diaspora of just people of color, is we don't own anything. We're always
Big
trying
facts.
to become a part of their system.
Big facts.
And so until we organize and create spaces where these young people can be hired, trained, and function with us, and until we get there as adults,
And we got to stick together through this shit, man. Like
Nipsey
for real.
Hussle, all money in, no money out.
Yeah, man. People don't understand. Like, to me, they don't really grasp the stick together part. Like, you know what I mean? That's not.
We have to police ourselves and take care of our house first,
Facts.
and then go to the public and say, this is what we're doing.
Facts.
This is where we stand.
Yeah.
And we don't even have a consensus as black people.
That's true.
I tell people all the time, as the Black Student Union leader, I used to say, as a lightly complected black male, I can't say what my counterpart of my darker brother Aaron goes through. But what I can do is say, I see it, or I understand it when he vents to me, and not disregard it as, well, that's just normal.
Right.
And so when he tells me something,
like,
okay, this might be an Aaron problem, but I'm sure there's other young people who feel the exact same way. How do we get all of them as tribe together to work on that issue?
Beautiful, yeah. That's a beautiful thing right there, and how y'all putting this together. Like, it's all making sense. You know what I mean? So I definitely understand. And I appreciate that, because like I said, when I was young, I didn't have this. You know, for me, it was the block. It was me on the streets. It was me listening to motherfuckers tell me, fuck go being that judge, right? Fuck being a judge. Go sell them drugs. You know what I'm saying? So it was telling them, they was doing that. You know what I mean? Go fight these niggas. Go do all this. I was dealing with that type of shit. You know what I mean? So now in my life, I definitely see the difference in where I could have been versus where I'm at now. Don't get me wrong. I love where I'm at now. It's beautiful. You know what I mean? Because I got out of the bullshit. You know what I mean?
Learned a lot from it.
Yeah, and that's what, like, meeting the people who I've met now within the years, like meeting bro and now meeting you, I feel like it's all been a good connection. You know what I mean? So it's everything just supposed to happen like this for a reason, and this is why we giving back to y'all, so y'all can understand this ain't about us. We ain't doing this for us not one bit. You know what I'm saying? We ain't making nothing off this really. If we making anything, we making a good image for y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Here's the thing. Take pride in having more, because having more allows you to give more.
Facts.
We should really be supporting people who give back. When they asked Tupac, you being such a popular artist, are there responsibilities and ties? Do you feel the responsibility to advocate for people in the political space? Tupac said, yeah. We asked Young Thug that now, and Young Thug like, I'm an entertainer. I'm not responsible for none of that.
Sheesh.
So then why are we supporting in you if you're not supporting us?
Yeah, and you know, some people got that mindset, well, it's just music, but it's deeper than that. You know what I'm saying?
Never just music.
It's deeper than that. Yeah.
It's influence. And for me, that is a part of our culture, to the point where, like you said, how do we get young people to not go sell drugs or shoot guns?
Facts.
Give them something else to do.
Give them, we got to make more things like Boys and Girls Clubs and all the stuff like that they had. They took a lot of that shit down.
Shout out to the Boys and Girls Club. I worked with them. Shout out to Community Education. I worked with them. Shout out to the YMCA, YWCA. I worked with them. My issue is why do we not in our own communities own our own
version
community centers? Why do we not own our own schools?
Facts.
We literally have Spanish immersion schools. Love it. We have Somali schools. Where's our black culture schools?
Facts. And for everybody out here saying we doing it like that, then come to the table and let's put the shit together, man.
And that's something that we actually had. I would love to step in. Thank you for where our schools, because I can tell you, part of being community, which unfortunately I believe has been lost, is not only giving you exposure to what you can do, but what you can't do.
Facts.
Right? So yes, I had people telling me, oh, you can be that lawyer. You can be that judge. You should be that lawyer. You should be that judge. I also, as every young black male growing up in the 90s and in the 2000s, I wanted to be on the block. That was cool, right? But it was the dudes on the block that told me no.
Facts.
They told me this ain't your space, young man.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying?
And
you need to
that's
back
good
up.
that you had niggas like that. Because I ain't gonna lie, I had big homies that was doing the opposite. You get what I'm saying? Like some of the big homies they was like ex-druggies or ex-niggas who really got out that shit. But them niggas who was still in that shit, bro, they did not want niggas away from that shit. So I respect that. Because I'm one of them, I'm them niggas now telling niggas, bro, get the fuck away from that shit, bro. Don't be around that shit. You know what I mean?
The young hitters used to be how people moved up.
Yeah, exactly.
The hard part is I tell people like this, and females do it too, we're not gonna make it a gender thing.
Facts.
I've worked in different lanes, one of them being security. Working at Rick's or was one of the floor managers at Pyramid back in the day. That stretched me so far where I got to see the game where everybody is being pimped and nobody is really uplifting people.
Facts though.
And so we cannot use these young people as a leverage to say, well, now I'm above you. That's the difference. And I shared this with Aaron about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. The difference between dictatorship and leadership.
Facts.
Active engagement is me showing you.
Facts.
I'm doing it.
Facts, though.
Nowadays, we have people who just talk. Ain't never did it themselves.
You gotta put that footwork in. Gotta put that footwork in.
And also the thing is, exposure is important with
Facts.
schools. So I heard, where are our schools? I came up, shout out to Franklin Middle School, just reopened, actually. We fought very hard for that to happen, as well as keeping North High open.
That's what's up.
But what I can tell you is that the very first time Aaron Abram stepped onto Morehouse College campus, I was in the 8th grade. And I was part of a group called Afrocentric Educational Academy. Shout out to Mr. Headley. Shout out to Miss Caesar. We created our own curriculum of the African diaspora, which taught us about ourselves outside of the lens that we had been provided, right? So yes, we got made fun of because we was Team C. Shout out to all my people in Team C. We was Team C, and we wore white shirts and we wore black pants and we had black shoes, and nobody could understand, like, why are you doing that? But it was meant to limit distraction. We understood that we were still in a public school setting, so there were some of us that had it, but there was also a good number of us that did not. And we, as middle school students, of course, we gonna pay attention to your J's, but we also gonna pay attention to them fake J's. You know what I'm saying? I rocked a fake FUBU.
You
5 jersey back in the day with the backward.
He had the fiber. He had the fiber going on. You know what I'm saying?
Like the whole time. But that was my experience.
Yeah.
I went to the Bahamas for the first time through Afrocentric Educational Academy in the 7th grade. Shout out to Team C again. And when we were there, you know what we did?
What y'all do?
We went to the school. That's the first thing that they
said,
did.
let's go back.
We got off of the plane and we went to a school, and the first thing I said is, where are y'all calculators? Where are y'all calculators? They said, we don't have that. I said, where are your notebooks? They were writing with small, what I could call small chalkboards. They were writing in chalk. Still, they were still allowed at that time. If you was acting out, they still had a little whack for your hand and rulers.
Oh, nah, man.
They
still
still
tripping.
No, but I'm saying,
That's
going
crazy.
to that different culture and noticing and seeing those type of things opened our minds so much, because as far as we were concerned, Northside ways and Northside rules was the world. Right? So if you expose these children only to what the highs and the lows can provide for them, or you expose them to only what a free basketball game for the Timberwolves or something like that, then that street, that block, our city becomes their entire world.
Facts.
And we have to make sure that we help them in understanding there's more on the outside that you can bring back.
Facts. No, that's true.
When you do that.
So let me ask y'all this, and this is a question for both of y'all. Y'all can answer at will. What puts y'all over the top of everybody else, like over the Mad Dads and over all the other companies that's started? What puts y'all over the top of them?
That's a hard question to ask, because I don't put myself over the top of anybody. I believe it's a unified need. I tell young people all the time, especially when it's a numbers-based program, where I've watched adults really be like, hey, I need you to come over here, woo, woo, woo. And it's like, if that young person's not interested in it, I'm not going to make you loathe doing it. Now, can I teach you a skill? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I want you to go where you're comfortable. Growing up in church, they used to always tell us, everybody's not called to you. And so, shout out to the owner of CEO, Coach Jamel. I told Jamel one day, I said, fam, I love what you do. To the point where I don't feel in competition. I just feel like we need more.
Facts. I love that. I like how you worded that. That's beautiful.
My biggest problem for me is I'm a perfectionist, and I've been able to, again, be in all these titles to the point of I know what looks professional. And on the comment of Aaron made earlier, before I pass it off, a lot of these people are able to work with young people because they relate with their struggle.
Facts.
It's people who look like me. They don't have the skill to actually advance these people. And the problem with that becomes their traumas unaddressed now become passed off as culture. And we actually teach kids worse things because we haven't vetted all of these programs through the training of what are you actually doing.
Facts.
I got
Facts.
you.
No, that's dope, bro.
And I would say from
well said.
Thinking of it from, a top-down type mentality, which is why I love the dynamic that we have.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've never been part of the actual street team. Right, that was Marc and them downtown stopping fights. That was Marc and his team downtown.
Oh, so that was y'all doing that?
Yeah,
that's what's up, man.
Youth are here. Shout out to, you know what I'm saying, our brother, rest in peace. With Youth Are Here, they were the ones. I'm looking at it more from the position upon which I've been blessed with, which is, yes, I do have a degree from Morehouse College in political science, so I look at it from a sociology standpoint.
Man, y'all hear that though, man? That is amazing, bro. Like, come on, now. Black people, that. Man, stand the fuck up, man.
This was my hero. He was the one who exposed me to a lot of these things.
That's what's up, bro. Like, you saying that shit, I'm like, man, I done did a few things, but I gotta catch the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I was 19 in college, going to visit him at Morehouse was the first time I ever got on a plane.
Oh, that's crazy.
So him going to Morehouse, and having these experiences are what shed light to me.
Yeah. You know what? Speaking of, as a matter of fact, I've seen you doing a lot of things like with politicians and political people, just people of power. Where do you see yourself doing that in your lifetime? Do you ever see yourself doing anything political, trying to run for mayor, trying to be president, anything like that? Because like I said, brother, you've been doing a lot of good shit for the city, and you are a good community activist, if you ask me. And you're very very highly intelligent. So I feel like that's something in my mind that you may do. But what's your thoughts on that?
Yes, I'll say that. It's always been an aspiration of mine. To lead. Part of the reason why, in some people's minds, it's taking too long. That's their problem, not mine.
Right.
Because I want to step into these positions prepared.
Yeah.
And so, yes, I want to do those things. There's a reason why I did my major in political science with a concentration in American government. I wanted to see how you're messing us over. You know, when we're talking about me going into law school, and seeing how these lawyers think, why these judges are coming to their certain conclusions, how the history is important. Because if you don't address it, guess what you're going to do? You're going to repeat it.
Yeah.
And so addressing those things is where I step back and I'm able to look at these organizations and I say, I'm no better than anybody. I'm no bigger of a community advocate for anybody. I would say that I have been blessed with some people in my life that have given me the ability to understand how to move.
Right.
And my mother being one of those people. And so with me being able to see these things and see how money works.
Facts.
Right?
Yeah.
We as black people are afraid of money.
It's never been given to us.
There you go. And the problem with that is that because you are afraid of money, you don't take control of money. And because you don't take control of money, we go into these situations where we're asking the city of Minneapolis, Hennepin County, state of Minnesota, federal government to provide us with dollars, which is fantastic, but here becomes your issue.
Yeah.
Your issue is there's no federal, state, city, county, or local dollar that you will ever receive that does not come with strings attached, right? And so when we have all of these groups out here, right? I think each one of those groups is doing something fantastic. I also think that each one of those groups have things that they need to work on. But the thing is, they're stretching how you get your dollar. So where Marc says, hey, this group is fantastic, but they're not going far enough. Well, that's because the grant they received says that you have to do this with these dollars or you'll never see these dollars again.
Absolutely.
That's because we took no control over that.
That's fucked up.
So when we're talking about the youth coordinating board, being able to do the work that they're able to do, because the youth coordinator is a quasi-governmental agency,
intergovernmental.
Even they have stipulations upon what they can do with dollars in a group called Minneapolis Youth Congress, who is saying no decision about us without us. And then last year, we come to a space where the city council decided they wanted to change how they prioritize policies and bills and things coming down that they want to talk about. And they put us in the third tier. That defeats the entire purpose.
So let me ask you a few more questions. I know I got 1,000 more questions that I could ask. You know what I mean? We ain't got no time for that, but definitely, because I know y'all got a lot of shit to say.
We could do this for a week.
You know what I'm saying? No, for sure.
No, so my point being is we have to come together to make it make sense.
Facts.
Manipulation is everywhere. The police can legally lie to you. So when they say, hey, man, just tell me the truth and it'll be okay.
Right.
Oh, you told me? Let's go.
Yeah, yeah.
Now you feel like somebody done betrayed you. No.
No, yeah, for sure.
Know your rights, get together. Even the construct of definitions. Slang creates your own language, which creates your own understanding. Aaron being a lawyer, I ask him all the time, what does this mean in these terms to people in this position?
Hey, man, now that I know you a lawyer, too, boy, I'm finna be, hey, bruh. We at the same gym. Hey, look, come on over here. Let me ask you something. If I punch somebody in this gym, pissing me off.
The Google and YouTube people will be like, fam, I know the law. You be you know what you think.
Look, you gonna be the one. Look, if I need you like how they got
you be like,
motherfucking, what's his name? They got Thug off the case. You my lawyer, man. I need you. I got you. I'm gonna need you for that. You know, I be rapping this shit. You know what I'm saying? But no, look. I definitely appreciate y'all coming on to the show doing it. Like I said, I wish we could go a little bit longer, you know what I'm saying? But definitely, can y'all got any shout outs, anything y'all want to give to the people? Excuse me.
Yeah, shout out to you for having us on. Shout out to the Youth Congress, to the Beacons. Shout out to, I just actually started my own, trying to be a part of the solution, not the problem. So I just started my own organization, Youth 24. I'm building that up now. So hopefully that'll be dropping projects, facilitation soon under that label instead of just my own. Aaron?
Yeah, I mean, again, got to shout you out. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to speak our piece. Definitely want to shout out to my mom, Latunji. She has shown me not only her work in the community with how I started. My mother had me when she was 16 years old.
Facts.
My mother showed me what it looked like to work with young women. She actually took them to court in order for them to be able to get child support. She taught them how to, because she had me at 16. So she was able to...
Wait, what? She helped them get child support?
Yeah, like she helped them because they had no idea of the system.
Nah, okay. I was just had to look like, wait.
Well, it was just a means.
But to me, that's beautiful, bro. I love that shit because...
my mom, definitely want to give a shout out to Marc, NYC, the folks doing the work out here. Don't shoot guns, shoot hoops. Ooh, Terry, thank you for what you're doing out there. And other youth organizations that are really putting in the work. C2I is another organization out of Sabathani that I love, Jessica Rogers, because they're actually working with our youth who come out of the adoption agency and teaching them stability and things of that nature, which is very, very important to how we're doing it. And just thank you to the good politicians, folks that are out here looking out for folks. Because I want to make sure that everybody in here understands, in this room as well as out there, that you have to know who is making the decisions that impact you in your community.
Facts.
We can talk about every 4 years about what the president looks like and everything on a federal level, but it should be more important to you to know who's on your school board.
Local
it should be more
is
important to you who is your city council person.
Facts.
It should be more important to you about how your local dollars are being spent, because it makes no sense that we can pay billions upon billions of dollars to other countries to help them with wars, but the pipes in Flint still need work. And our Flint in Minnesota is, unfortunately, the way that we are treating our youth. Where are we putting our money? What is our plan? And do you know who are the people making these decisions? And once you know that, we can redirect those dollars. We can make the change.
Before you sign off, I just have one thing that I want people to consider.
Yeah.
As a person who works with young people, it always baffles me that I have to advocate and fight so hard, especially in spaces that are for youth. Because as we talk to other adults, these are your kids.
Facts.
How do you have strangers trying to care about your kids
more than you?
I don't understand it. Facts. We got to do better. This is not like a slight or coming at people's lives, but I think a lot of the lessons that I've learned and been able to share with young people, the adults also need to learn themselves.
They need to hear it. To hear it. Regardless of if they feel bad or not, you need to hear it. And if you're feeling bad, the shoe motherfucking fit. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm just being honest. Hey, man, where can they find y'all initially, man? Where, if the people want to look y'all up and find out, where can they find y'all youth center, or where can they find y'all directly? Let them know.
You can reach out to me. Majority of my work right now, until I create my own website, is on ycb.org. I do have an Instagram, as well as my email is Marc, M-A-R-C, Woods, W-O-O-D-S, 24@gmail.com.
Tap in.
Reach out. I would love to work, connect. I've also moved to consulting, trying to help systems and again, just grow and really put young people in positions to win. My goal is to set them up for success, not failure. And I think a lot of what's going on right now is we think we're doing the right thing, but we have no tangible proof of concept, yet we keep doing the same things.
Facts. Well said, brother. What about you, man?
For me, I mean, of course, if you outside, you'll find me. That's first and foremost. Start stepping out to some of these events.
Yeah.
Start talking about ALIFA, for example, are the individuals who are doing the consent decree work between the Department of Justice, the Minnesota Department of Human Rights, and the City of Minneapolis and Minneapolis Police Department. You need to be there to have your voices heard. Also, you can reach out to me via Facebook. You can't miss me, Aaron Abram. And then also I'm on Instagram, aceman0204. Via email, please feel free to reach out to me at abramlaw715@gmail.com. And if you see me, just holler at me. There's a lot of work out here to be done.
Let them know. Say, hey, I need to get the fuck off these papers, man. No, y'all know what the fuck going on, man. Hey, look, man, I appreciate y'all coming in, doing what y'all do best, man, and letting the world know what's up. Y'all know what's going on, man. Step Up to the Mic podcast, man. Step up everywhere. We doing all this shit for y'all. Like I said, we doing this shit for y'all. I'm doing this shit for y'all. Y'all got something to say? And if y'all got any people from like the youth who want to give they comments to this shit, man, I'm more than welcome to for y'all to bring somebody who want to give their story on their life. On, you know, this is open space. You feel what I'm saying? Absolutely. So if y'all got something to say, man, y'all know how to inbox me. Y'all know how to get with me, man. He got one thing to say?
I was going to say, shout out to my squad. A lot of the cats I've been doing work with, B. Croc, Miss Tamika, through the Education Pathway program.
We need everybody on the show. Let's go.
Ibrahim, not only an artist, but the owner and facilitator of Harder Than Paint Hoops. Byron Hawkins. Byron has TKO Drum and Dance Line. He takes students out to do.
That's dope right there.
We got so many people that I can shout out. I think the hard part about these conversations is not that people aren't doing the work. How do we make sure that the work is
consolidated?
It's getting consolidated done for real. Like,
and not overlapping where we all think we're doing the same thing, and instead of elevating, we just repeat the same thing.
Yep. Y'all hear this, man? We coming together. We getting the city together. It's like that, man. And to the next one, man. Y'all step up to the motherfucking mic, man. We signing out. Let's get it.
Know what it is.